Now this is the free from gluten-free, wheat-free, milk and egg-free penne pasta. It's quite nice this. Okay, I'll cook this now. I'll put it in the pot, into this pot here. Seems decent enough, this pot. I think it was burnt before. Maybe they burnt some pasta or something. And what I'll do is, I'm not going to use the tap water, because tap water, the pipes that they use are copper, and copper has been linked to copper and iron has been linked. Excess copper and iron has been linked to dementia and Alzheimer's. So I just want to avoid that from now on. Let me see if you can see the pipe. You see the pipes? They're all copper pipes. So when you use, I assume that when you use copper, when you use water from the tap, you're getting a tiny dose, a small dose of copper in your food. And you know, if you eat that every day, if this way every day, then you know you're adding to copper in your brain and can have problems maybe. In fact, you know, some multivitamin companies, I think they take iron away, and some may also take copper away because of this reason, because maybe some studies have shown that too much copper and iron, there could be a connection with dementia in later life. So I'll use this one here. I'll use Evian water. It's a bit expensive, but let me see, how much does it have here? Does it have copper inside? Who knows? Can't read. Sodium, potassium. Okay. So in that case, I'll use a little bit of Evian. I won't use so much. Not so much Evian water. Just a little bit. Oh, some guys might think I'm not using Evian water. Okay, I'll show you. It's just that I don't have a tripod, and so the rubbish Chinese tripod broke. Oh, also I'm going to add a little bit of this. Not so much, because I'm going to try and make my own sauce. Then I'll add some of this to it to, you know, bulk it up, as it were. So, okay, I'll heat this up and then put the pasta in, and then I'll come back to making the sauce. So, this one is a one. Let me see. There we go. Okay, the water's boiled, so now we're going to turn this up. It's difficult doing this in one hand. There we go. Open it up. I think that should be enough. Yeah, there you go. So, just gonna get the wooden spoon. Yeah. So, I'm trying to use as less as water I can get away with, but as you know, with pasta you need water. Maybe probably 2 times or 3 times the amount of water. Because I'm using Evian, I don't want to, it's a bit of a waste, you know. So what I'll do is I'll bring to the boil, I'll see if I can find a lid, and then reduce the heat. Not so much, not to the point of simmering, but high heat, but not too high. Okay, I found the lid. Put that on and then reduce this to, let's say it's 8, reduce it to 6. Maybe some air here, some steam. Okay. Keep an eye on that, otherwise it will stick. Pasta will stick. Oh, to avoid the pasta sticking, add a little bit of oil and stir around. I'm going to do this now. Okay. I'm going to add a tiny amount of oil. Just a tiny amount. In order to give it a good chance of not sticking to the bottom. Okay. It's vegetable oil. I don't use vegetable oil, it's sunflower oil. My wife uses that, but it's okay. I'm going to get rid of that. With the water, I'm going to throw it away. Seems like it's cooking nicely. It's been about 5 minutes, let's say. It's not ready yet. Or shall I say they are not ready yet. The pasta's not ready yet. I've forgotten how to speak English. So now I'll put it on, let's say, 3. I'll put it on low heat and just keep an eye on it. Now I'm trying to devise my own tripod here. I've tilted this and I'm going to put my phone here and made a kind of counterweight here, otherwise it will fall over. But it keeps tilting and falling over. It's so difficult to do this. So I don't know how this video will come out. I really need to buy a tripod, and definitely not a cheap Chinese one. An expensive Chinese one, okay, but not a cheap one. Okay, today I'll be cooking a kind of a gluten-free vegan pasta dish. Now I've got there 2 tomatoes, and here that's what is it? It's called Quorn, which is a kind of like tofu-like substance. It's a substitute to meat, so I'll give it a go. 1 organic red onion, organic garlic, ginger, this is thyme, this is rosemary, and this is basil. And then a little bit of sea salt. And where is it? I'm gonna find it in a second. Some extra virgin olive oil, but just a little bit, not too much. I pray this doesn't fall again. Okay. Now let's begin to make the sauce. Okay, got 1 organic red tomato. Why red tomato? Because red tomatoes have some goodies inside. They'll activate the SIRT1 genes, help you to live longer and lose weight. I think also they have like either polyphenols or some kind of substance that makes them good for your health. I'll let you know later what they have. Also, onion has quercetin, which is good for tightening the junctions of your leaky gut if you have a leaky gut. Okay, so that's that. I think I'll use the whole one. Be careful not to put your fingers like this. Put them like this so you won't chop your fingers off. Okay, I make my onion pieces quite big. Some people like them really, really small. I don't really mind. As long as they're not giant, they're not really big. So I find the pot now. This doesn't look too good, this pot, but let me wash it. Oh, this will have to do. Two tomatoes. If you're wondering, yes, I'm using tap water. It's difficult to avoid tap water, you know. If you wash everything with Evian water, then it's going to be very expensive. I'm going to have to find another solution because I don't want, you know, copper in my brain if I can help it. Or, you know, in your family's brain you don't want copper. No, it's supposed to be good for you, but I think it has been, excess has been linked to dementia, so avoid any excess. And every time we use tap water, I'm sure we're getting a dose of copper, even though it's a tiny dose. It all accumulates. And that's the tomato. Okay, there we go. Look at that. This is thyme. So the trick with, well, what I do is I buy it fresh, and I use the fresh one the first day, first 2 days or whatever. But then I find that I can't use it fast enough, so it starts to become rotten, you know. So what I do is I'll leave it outside, and I'll show you in a minute. I'll leave it outside on the windowsill and make it dry up like this. It's only a few days old, already it's dried up. And this you could use maybe in a soup or something, or in tea. So I keep this as well. I should have done this later. What I do is I just put my hand on top, crush it, and the jacket on the outside, the skin comes off. Actually, the skin is probably good for you, so I may cook that as well. Today, oops. For today, I'll just do it this way. I also don't cut the garlic so big. So we've got here rosemary, and you could use this in it smells nice. Use this in a tea or a soup. And now one of my favorite ingredients is basil. What I do with this is I'll wash it slightly, and then I'll put it towards the end, so then you can still taste the flavor towards the end. Otherwise it's just cooked away and you don't even taste it. You can't even taste it. Can't smell it, nothing. And a small piece of, small pieces of ginger. Now the inside of this ginger doesn't look too good, but it is fresh. I just purchased it a few days ago. It just has a strange, like an irregular shape, and usually supermarkets don't sell vegetables with irregular shapes, but a local supermarket, it's called Roy's, did sell one. Sold this one and other vegetables in irregular shapes, so it's okay. The problem with ginger is if on the outside it's moldy or it's rotten, then you don't eat it, because I'm sure in China I read once a study that the moldy or rotten ginger is linked with cancer in the liver. So don't eat moldy or rotten ginger. Okay, and finally we have this clump of frozen. It's called Quorn, Quorn. I'll show you the package. Here it is, Quorn, and it says here it's high protein, low in saturated fat, gluten free. Chunks of kind of a meat substitute. Okay, so I put everything in the pot now. Put it all together in a pot. And I start to cook it slowly. Okay, there you go. As before, just add a little bit of Evian. Not so, you don't have to add so much water when you're cooking, you know. So I'll increase the heat here to 8. I think this is the strongest heat. The strongest ring, I mean, in the whole hob. Let's put that on. I usually add the salt at the end to taste. So no oil, no salt until the end. So I'll use this oil and I'll put this in halfway through. Okay. And the pasta, let me see. Yeah, it's chewy, it's okay. Oops, I'll bury this one. Okay, I'll let that cook now. And go back to it in a few minutes. Okay, about 6 or 7 minutes have gone. This seems like it's almost ready. So, what you can do to add taste to it is vegetable stock cube, maybe half a vegetable stock cube, instead of using the sea salt, or as well as, but not too much. Sometimes what I do is to make it sweeter, instead of adding sugar, I add a little bit of tomato ketchup. I'll add this as well. I'll add this first and then see if the taste is okay. If I like the taste, okay, I won't add the rest. If the taste is still not there, depending on the tomatoes and ingredients that I put in, then I'll add a little bit of this, and maybe a tiny amount of that. So I'll add a little bit of this. Just let's say half. And use the other half to make another meal. Okay, so stir that. I'm not left-handed, by the way, but I don't trust my left hand with the mobile. So let that cook for a while. very sharp. So what I do is, if it's really sharp, I use a pinch, a very small amount of bicarbonate of soda, or sodium bicarbonate, and that takes away if it's too sharp. But you have to be very careful. If you put too much in, it will destroy the sauce. It will be so horribly bland. Believe me, you have to throw it away. So you have to put a tiny amount if you want to take the acid away. You know, if it's too acidy, too sour, too sharp, you know. So I think what I'll do, let's catch up.
Oh no!
Oh God, I missed. That's why I don't trust my left hand. Look at that. Okay, here we go. It would help if I was looking at the pot instead of looking at the mobile phone. Okay. Let me just mix that round. Let's have a look. Yeah, sweet. I think what I'll do is I'll add some of this anyway. But you can make it blander, you know, it's still okay the way it is, but just add a tiny amount, a small amount. Maybe not even a quarter of a cube. Because I don't want to add too much salt, because, you know, in that sauce there's salt. In there's salt. There's salt. You know, and if you want to be really precise, in the rosemary, the basil, and the thyme, you'll have also, you know, traces of salt. So oh, there's too much steam in this kitchen now. That tastes nice now. So I'll reduce the heat now to, let's say, 3. And that should be okay soon. Just let it simmer like that for a while. Okay, this is done now. Just pour that in. Yeah, there you go. That'll do. There you have it. Nice vegan style spaghetti meal. Sorry, pasta meal. It's gluten free and vegan free. Sorry, this is gluten free and vegan. See how it tastes. So now I'll add a little bit of olive oil, tiny amount, and a tiny amount of salt. Okay. Now mix this up. One thing I did forget was the basil, but I'll put it in now. So I washed the basil. I'm going to cut it. I think that's too much basil though. It's okay. It's such a nice smell. Just put that into the pot now. Now we'll cook it a little bit. There we go. There you go. So there you have it. Pasta, vegan pasta, which is also gluten free. It's got pieces of fake chicken, or something that tastes like meat, kind of meat substitute. It tastes okay. Obviously, it doesn't taste the same as if you had a few pieces of chicken inside. So this is a nice meal for anybody who is a vegan and who has to eat gluten free, who has a leaky gut or has celiac disease. So I hope you like my meal. Now I'm going to go and enjoy this. If you do make the same or similar meal, let me know how it went, and comment below. See you guys later. Bye. Bye.